Your baby loves sharing songs, stories and rhymes with others.
I like my daddy because he's strong.
Do you think your daddy's strong?
Yeah.
I think he is too. I think it's very important for children to read, and I enjoy reading to my grandchildren. I enjoy my grandchildren. I see a lot of my grandchildren, and we always reading books or doing drawings. And even when my children were young, I would read to them, and I think it helps them with words. It helps them with making up their own stories.
To the far end of town, they sniffed at the smells and they snooped at each door.
It is that time.
Stories can be come from everywhere. They can just come from imagination. They can come from everyday life. And I sit and sometimes, especially at bedtime, I'll make up stories for my grandchildren. And it could be about anything. It can be about something we've done in the morning. It can be, I was just sitting 2 minutes ago and we were drawing and making up a story from drawing our own pictures. And it can be really enjoyable. They like listening to other things, and sometimes it can be out of your own everyday life. It doesn't have to be totally imaginary. It can be made up from something you've done in the morning, and it interacts with one another. It gets to talking between you and your grandchildren, and it can have different conversations. And it doesn't matter at what age. It can be from as babies, it can be right through to, and it just encourage people to talk to one another right through to adulthood. And I don't sing very often to my grandchildren, but sometimes we do make up little rhymes or something, and it might be get into a singing mode, but it doesn't happen very often. I'm not a very good singer, so it doesn't happen very often. And yeah, it's just enjoyable. And they get to know you, and you get to know them a lot better from it as well.
Involving families and others is important for early learning and literacy.
So right from the very start, your babies really like to hear the sound of your voice, and even from the minute of birth, they actually look for your face when they hear you speak.
Well, definitely, she recognises both our voices, and get her to smile and everything. She always smiles for us more than anyone else.
Yeah, I've noticed as she gets older, she would recognise your voice from a distance.
Notice that as they get a bit older, that they actually hold your gaze and talk back to you a little bit, and they smile a lot more and really look for that engagement.
Often when I'm changing Jack on the change table, I'll talk to him, and he'll have a conversation back, and we quite often have quite a long chat.
I noticed that Kev talks to her all the time when he's changing her. Chatting away in the other room.
She giggles, talks back.
The more that you say the same words all the time, repetition is really important, because before you know it, they'll be trying to say the words back, and pausing and giving them the chance to have their turn is really important as well, as it teaches them to have a conversation and learns the rules of conversation.
There was always this expectation that I found you had to have all these toys for your baby, and especially with the ads on TV and stuff, they make you feel like you're a bad parent if they don't have this or that. But at the end of the day, she doesn't want to play with all that sort of stuff. She wants to play with, I don't know, this disgusting dirty teddy or my hand. Like, it's not all about the bells and whistles.
So they don't need great big expensive toys, they just really want you, because you guys are the centre of the universe, and they would rather play with you, and lots of visual contact and lots of peekaboo, lots of finger games, tickle games, and they really love it when you sing to them as well. That's what they want. They don't care about the great big new toys. So TV and electronic stuff are here to stay anyway. That's a part of modern life, but it's probably really important to limit it if you can. And the research is actually saying that children under 3 don't have any educational benefit from games or electronic toys anyway, and it can impede with their speech. They would just rather talk to you guys. That's the more important thing.
She'll listen to music and calm music, but TV's, yeah, she's not interested.
And I'm trying to give her a bottle, she'll fling and watch the TV and won't just look straight and have the bottle. So I'll turn the TV off, and so she's got to just concentrate on having the bottle.
Can a dummy affect speech development?
It can, actually. Dummies have got their time and their place, and they're not all bad, but it's really important that by the age of 1 you try to get rid of the dummy, and nighttime use is probably the best time to use a dummy. When they have their dummy for excessive long periods of time, it actually impedes their speech because they find it difficult to talk around a dummy. So it's never too early to start with books. Kids love books, and it's about sharing books and talking about books, and as you can see, the kids have just loved it. It's never too early to sing to your children. They love it. They'll visually engage with you. They'll listen to you. It's just one of the best things that you could do.
It's never too early to share stories, books and songs with your baby.